How come we still don't get high value client consistently? Now that's because we have a random input, therefore we have a random output. We try to model everybody, we're not sure which one should I use, what platform, which method. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you the most efficient way to actually sell to another human being without any technology. Let's dive into it. Initially, we inspired by Gary Vee, the $80 strategy, and we completely innovated. After spending almost $500,000 on Facebook ads alone, we figured out any one of the smartest strategies that you can deploy today because everybody start using it, it becomes crowded and quickly fading away. Now I'm gonna share with you 5 steps that you can use, so let's start it. The first step is conversation leads to conversion. As you see, over the years, we're running this centralized model where we're actually broadcasting messages. Kind of like back in the TV, we're yelling to the market and everyone just coming to the one point. That's okay, but it's no longer the same because the click rates going up, the click-through rates are dropping, the conversion rates are dropping. Even you convert it, you no longer be able to sell anything that is valuable. We're gradually moving from centralized to decentralized. That means that your client can actually connect with you throughout anywhere and everywhere. That means in the chat, in the email, online, offline, and you be able to showing up. For example, advertising is centralized, community building is decentralized, funnel and automation is centralized, chat and engagement is decentralized. So this is my ads cost back in 2017. We'll pay anything from $1 to $3 per click, and we're actually paying about $5 to $15 per email address opt-in without the actual names, and we probably get anything from about 5 to 10% of those leads that actually schedule a call with the server complete on our calendar. There's approximately around about 80 to 90% showing up rate. By the time they're showing up, we're probably close around about 25%. So anywhere we're paying about $120 to $1,200 per customer as the cost per acquisition. And this is our ad cost in 2020. So we're actually paying around about 2.5 to 3 times more in the cost of acquisition of a customer. So anything can be automated, and when there's more people using the same thing, the more cost it drives up by the platform. It's simply a demand supply game. And it's gonna get harder and harder to actually convert an automation client, especially if you're targeting anything high value. So how do we actually open up chat with our customer? Now that leads to step number 2, chat openness. Once we receive the traffic, it's a matter of actually mapping out our chat sequence to convert that lead from cold to warm to hot. And here we use what we call the give and ask method. That means give value to the market and asking for businesses. So for example, give could be a PDF, could be a worksheet, could be a masterclass training of 15 minutes. Example could be this. It's a perfect client cheat sheet. In this perfect cheat sheet, you can actually identify your perfect customer, understanding where they hang out and what to say them to get them to come to you. That way I can actually package that 8 pages cheat sheet as a PDF and I can actually give that out to my audience. But the key here is to ask them to comment on my post. That way I can actually build a human to human connection. What about ask? Ask is where we're actually having an event going on. For me, I could say I want to looking for 3 to 5 clients per month with value $2,000 plus a month within the next 90 days. Comment below, I'll send you all the information about what we do and see if it's going to be fit. That's invite them to actually join one of my programs. Or it could be to invite them to one of my seminars or one of my workshops. So anything that you're running as events or things that's happening for that particular month, you want to make sure that clients know that you're looking for business, but in a way that you actually want to give them a value through a chat instead of just selling them on a public feed. Step 3 is to map your script. Here where we actually have to engineer the chat process. Just like how you're converting a client on the phone or face-to-face meeting, there's a structure to it, there's a time frame to it. And so we divide that into 4 steps. That is connect, qualify, and offer, and convert. So in the connect, we're pretty much really just engaging our clients, asking them what they do, what kind of client they work with, or what kind of service they're providing. Something that does not really matter, but the key is to actually ask a simple question that is personalized to them and actually to open up that chat. The next step is the actual qualifying process. Here where we don't want to offer anything to customers because that sounds pretty cheap. What we need to do is to have the right question, ask them what they do, where they're at, where they want to be. Now in here, we do not give any strategies, but we ask smart questions to show that you know how without give them the how. Once we actually identify that, they'll be curious as exactly what you do. That's when you're going to engage their actual interest in the next stage, when we actually get them on a call or we actually close them through a program and send them a link to actually pay. Obviously, I have a separate video. I'm going to dive in super deep, showing you exactly how to actually navigate and crafting the actual script, the psychology, the sequence, the timing of each one of those 4 steps. Step 4 is to create an irresistible offer. Now in here, we use a really simple formula. It's what we call 1 plus 3 plus limiter. 1 stands for one thing. If you remember, Tim Ferriss is the author who produced the 4-hour work week. He said whenever he pitches on stages, speaking to large audience, whenever he presents 2 ideas, the conversion rate drop in half. So you always want to make sure that you only offer one thing, which is the most sexy thing that your client want to buy. And second, you want to add free bonuses. The psychology of getting free bonuses instead of a whole bunch of things in the back are completely different. Last thing is to add a limiter. Here where we're gonna add a scarcity, or we actually add an urgency so people can actually take action right now. For example, if I'm an accountant, if I'm actually selling a tax plan to a business owner, help them to reduce tax. And so the actual one thing I'm selling is the tax plan. That is the most sexy thing. I can show them the benefit and projecting how much they're gonna save. And the bonuses, number 1 is the internal false belief. The client doesn't believe they have enough tax to get back, and client don't believe they can actually go and implement all that stuff. So what I would do is I wanted to give them a free bonus where I'm responsible to implement at a free cost of my time to actually implement all that tax strategy for them on their behalf. The second is the external. The client may think the market will change, the ATO will change, the legislation will change all the time. In here where I will actually give them once yearly blueprint where I'll actually update the tax strategy from the legislation as long as they return as my ongoing customers. And number 3 is the vehicle, which is really you, the people who's providing service or the service itself. In that, I'll actually promise without you doing anything, I'm gonna show you a table. I'm also gonna show you a table if you implement my strategy, what the difference are. I'm guaranteeing you that in the projection, I was showing you that you get way more benefit than the cost itself. Lastly is the limiters. And so because the normal price will be $7,500, in the limiters, what I will do is I'll tell my customer, so if you can decide before the end of this month, I'll knock it off $2,000 as a discount. There you go, you have the 1 plus 3 plus limiter. It's way more powerful, just actually give them a standard service offering and hoping they're gonna buy from you. The 5th step is to reverse engineer your sales outcome. Obviously, in order for us to get a high value client, we have to understand what that means to us. Does that mean I'm actually gonna charge an $8,000 package as a high value to me? Or would it mean for me to actually sell a $1,000 online course once they become our client? We're gonna engage our customers and then we do an upsell to a $8,000 or $20,000 ongoing services. Obviously, there's gonna be conversion rate we need to calculate in order for you to work out which one's the option. Obviously, it depends on what is the actual offer. Now, I have a separate video I talk about what we call a value ladder. That's when and how we're gonna give the offer and what's the price point of the offer and how do we stack all your service offering to actually maximize your client's margin. And once we're clear on that, we really need to dive into 3 key questions. Number 1, not everybody understands their problems. Does your client really know what the symptoms, the actual problems are? And second question, does your client see you as the solution? Because they can actually go to the market finding any solution, but does your client see the linkage between the actual problem and you as the service provider, the only solution towards that specific problem that you help them to diagnose? Therefore, there's no other alternatives out there in the market. And number 3, what are the objections that they will have before they pull their card out to actually buy from you? Because everybody have objection before we actually pay for something. You're gonna map all that out and make sure that we're gonna seed all that stuff, make sure they're all clear before they come down to the final payment stage. Because we never want all the objections, either it's too expensive or it's not fit for me towards the end of it. That's all too late. All the objections needs to be pre-framed at the beginning through your chat process, through your phone calls. Under no circumstance will we actually offer them a service or product unless we know they actually solve all the questions and pre-objections. A lot of time we do what we call a sales video. This is a video what we produce to customers and get them to actually watch so they understand everything we do and actually ticking all the boxes of the concern they have before they're showing up. So that's summarized the 5 key steps to actually get your high value clients without any technology. Number 1, conversation leads to conversion. We need to open up chat. That leads to step 2 is the chat openness. We need to give them different ways for them to engage with us. We can actually get into the chat. Step 3 is to map your script. There's a 4th step that we discuss how to map staging of your script to lead them to either buy a program or lead them to a call to actually buy your services. Step 4 is to create an irresistible offer. In that, we actually talked about the formula 1 + 3 + limiter. And the last step is to reverse your sales process. Understand what are the actual value you can offer, what is your service packaging, so you know the price of your services, whether you actually do a one sale, an upsell, whether you're gonna do a big sale at the upfront. So you need to use some mathematics to calculate your conversion and the price of your services to see which method actually working out for you. And last not least is to really understanding the objections that your client has, actually see all that throughout the sales process, in the beginning, in the middle, not towards the end. There you go, you have the 5 steps to actually make everything happen for you and your business. And hey, if you truly like and if you really enjoy what we covered so far, then please subscribe to the channel where I actually give the most updated strategy just like this one you have watched. So comment below, let me know what you think about this video. Anyway, I appreciating you and appreciate your time. I hope you're having an amazing day and I will see you next week. Bye for now.